Abraxas Origins, Marvel Godlike Villain Explored. A creation of Jeff Loeb and Kevin Maguire, Abraxas conclusively happens to be one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. To begin with, he is a cosmic entity, possessing godlike superpowers, and to him, manipulating the very fabric of reality means absolutely nothing. Now, we all know how bending reality, or in other words, warping reality, is the most powerful ability that any character can possess. The character of Abraxas, who happens to be a multiversal being, is now taking things to the next level. This means that his character can warp reality in not just one universe, but more, naturally placing him amidst the most powerful reality warpers in Marvel Comics. This brings us to the main contents of today's video, where we will be digging deeper into the origins of the cataclysmic cosmic being Abraxas, who first made an appearance in Fantastic Four Annual 2001. Are you ready? Let's dive into it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Abraxas Origins, the embodiment of the multiverse's destruction. We will begin by exploring his comic book appearances and delve deeper into the storyline to get a proper insight into his backstory. Please note that this is going to be an interesting, in-depth analysis of the character. Fantastic Four 1998 Annual 2001, The Devil You Know. The issue begins with what looks like a meteor racing towards the Earth and is seen crashing right in the middle of Times Square in New York City. When the smoke clears up and one gets to take a proper peek at it, the meteorite turns out to be the severed head of the planet devourer, Galactus. Soon the Fantastic Four arrive at the scene and Tony Stark offers Reed Richards the assistance of the Avengers. However, Reed tells Tony that the Fantastic Four have the whole situation under control, and if they require the aid of the Earth's mightiest heroes, they will certainly call them. Upon inspecting the head, Reed rapidly concludes that this is not the Galactus that they know, despite it appearing as a giant dead Galactus head, and that somewhere in the multiverse of alternate realities, another Galactus has been murdered. Reed further states that someone or something was controlling both its speed as well as trajectory for impact. Noticing a strange glow from a crack in Galactus's helmet, Reed and Ben Grimm break it open only to discover Nova, the former herald of Galactus, and Johnny Storm's ex-girlfriend inside in a comatose state. Of course, this affects Namorita to an extent, as she happens to be the current girlfriend of Johnny. Nonetheless, Reed suggests that they take Nova to their headquarters to probe deeper into things. The next day, the Fantastic Four are occupied with the head of Galactus when an alternate version of Hulk arrives there and begins attacking the group. This version of Hulk is quite befuddled to realize that the ones he is fighting are not UFOs. Moreover, with the Fantastic Four addressing him as Dr. Bruce Banner, he realizes that they must have misunderstood him for someone else. He finally agrees to the terms of the Fantastic Four, further concurring to calm down. But with them dropping the force field, he simply takes off from there, leaving everyone confused with his statement. Back at the Baxter building, the readers, along with Namorita, learn that Nova had sacrificed herself to become the herald of Galactus in order to save Earth. All of a sudden, Nova wakes up and starts screaming that the universe will die if she is stopped from accomplishing her mission. Ben attempts to calm her down, but that only infuriates her further. It is only when Johnny calls her by her real name, Frankie Ray, and approaches her that Nova gets a hold of herself. Reed is able to sedate Nova and concludes that, like Galactus, this version of Nova also happens to come from a different universe. Realizing that the situation is indeed getting serious, Reed suggests journeying to the blue area of the moon, one that happens to be the home of Uatu the Watcher. The Fantastic Four are next seen entering the Watcher Citadel. Things are awfully quiet there, and even the computer systems are all offline. Then, to their utter shock, they find that the Watcher simply has no memory of anything, including his own identity. Reed, unable to make out anything, decides to get the Watcher's computer system back online, but he finds nothing. All the data has been erased from there. Ben also points out another significant thing. Calling the Watcher's medallion a cosmic doohickey, he shows the group that half of it is missing. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Valeria Richards and her brother Franklin are seen running from this gigantic black shadow-like being. Valeria tells her brother to keep running and not to look back, but she herself ends up tripping and gets consumed by the menacing shadow. While his sister literally vanishes from his sight, all Franklin can see is the shadow donning the other half of the broken medallion. Now, as far as things are concerned back on Earth, the Fantastic Four are seen returning back to the Baxter building and getting contacted by the President of the US. Surprisingly, the President happens to be Hillary Clinton, who wishes to personally hear from Reed if the situation is under control. The President further reminds that the fate of the entire planet is in the hands of Reed before ending the call. Suddenly, Namorita is seen rushing inside the room and informing the group that Nova managed to break free in spite of her trying to stop her. The group rushes out to locate Nova when they get attacked by a crew of alternate universe versions of Marvel superheroes addressing themselves as the Law Enforcement Squad. The team is led by the Hulk that the Fantastic Four had previously encountered, and it goes without saying that a war breaks out between the two groups. Nova intervenes and tells them that the reality folding onto itself is a sign that Abraxas is coming. With her screaming about needing to destroy the world as Galactus would, Reed asks Johnny to approach Nova, calm her down, and find out more answers, while he himself manages to make Dr. Druid read his mind and make him aware that the Fantastic Four are not accountable for the battle. After learning the truth about the situation, Druid asks Hulk to tell everyone to stop fighting. With the hopes of seeking more answers, Druid opens a portal and takes Reed along inside. The duo are greeted by Captain Universe, who tells them to join him and that a certain he is expecting them. On the way, Captain Universe tells them that every universe in the multiverse has manifested itself as an abstract entity, which is known as eternity, further stating that where one eternity would ensure a boundless universe, a multi-eternity would ensure a boundless multiverse. Now, within all eternities, the universe is a place of chaos as well as order. But now, something or someone is causing all realities to blend together, thereby upsetting the balance between chaos and order. With Reed wondering who is responsible for the whole thing, the mysterious cosmic entity finally appears before them and introduces himself as Abraxas. The colossal Abraxas is seen standing upon a pile of dead Galactus, and it becomes pretty clear that he must have defeated them in combat. The trio of Reed, Druid, and Captain Universe are sent back to the Earth, but the minute they reach there, the entire Law Enforcement Squad is seen disappearing into thin air. Fiery words stating "I am coming" appears in the sky, and it becomes clear that Abraxas has sent them a warning, with Reed explaining to the group that they are dealing with a being who has enormous godlike powers and to whom bending reality means absolutely nothing. It is here that we get our first idea of Abraxas's powers. Reed also states that it will take the entire combined strength and will of all heroes to battle him, and that he has to be stopped so as to save the multiverse. Nova starts crying after hearing everything and asks for forgiveness for the amount of damage that she has caused. Johnny reassures her that she is with the Fantastic Four, and that's what makes her a part of the family. In the meantime, in the other end of the universe, Haven to be more precise, one that happens to be a school for the gifted youngsters, Franklin Richards wakes up screaming. As he looks around the dorm room, he doesn't find his sister Valeria around. He rushes outside and finds her sitting on a sofa. Franklin sighs in relief to find his sister alive and that he only had a nightmare. As he hugs Valeria, he tells her that he wants to go home right away, to which Valeria comforts her brother and tells him that is exactly what they are going to do. Fantastic Four Volume 3 number 46. It's too late to stop now. Things are pretty chaotic at NYPD's Code Blue headquarters. For those of you who do not know what Code Blue stands for, it is a special division created with the sole purpose of taking super criminals into custody. The readers learn that the UN building has blown up and the Avengers are tackling the situation. Now, as far as the Fantastic Four are concerned, they have removed the giant severed head of Galactus from Times Square and have arrived at the headquarters daughters to pick up their children Franklin and Valeria. With Reed and Sue taking their children on a ride in their fantastic car, Sue observes that a strange mist has been spreading all over the city. Reed tells her that he does not want the children to get worried, and the four of them arrive at the Baxter building. Johnny and Namorita are seen having a heart-to-heart conversation, unaware that they are being watched by Nova. We soon learn of Nova's plans. She wishes to teach the duo that fire and water do not mix. Reed has just reached the headquarters with his family when he gets contacted by the Star Corps space station, who warns them about a meteor shower heading towards Earth. Both the teams are seen discussing the effects of the meteor shower when Ben pulls Franklin aside and demonstrates how he can alter back into his human form anytime he wants to, with Ben further stating to Franklin how he can now play football or even wrestle for that matter anytime they want to. Franklin gets upset, while Namorita tells Johnny that Ben did not really mean anything by what he said. A disappointed Johnny tells her that everybody knows kids should not play with fire in the first place. Coming back to Nova, who is also there, she tells the group that it is Abraxas who is arriving, while further stating to them that she knows exactly what a meteor storm is. She also elucidates a little more about Abraxas, how he is drawn by the scent of the creatures of the multiverse along with duplicates like her, and that the cosmic being will simply not rest till he has killed all of them. Now, to everyone's surprise, Franklin utters that he knows Abraxas and addresses him as the Dark Man that he has seen in his dreams. The Fantastic Four are seen arriving at the home of the Watcher and filling in the details of Abraxas to their allies Captain Marvel, Quasar, Silver Surfer, and Moondragon. The Fantastic Four have called in their powerful friends to support them for the upcoming battle with Abraxas. Reed touches upon all the incidents one after the other: the arrival of the severed head of Galactus from another universe, their confrontation with the law enforcement squad, their encounter with the Watcher who lies comatose in his very home, his experience with Dr. Druid, as well as the warning that Abraxas was coming. Nova is also seen revealing that Abraxas killed the Galactus of her universe and then sent his skull to Earth as a declaration of his arrival. Reed cuts her short and tells her that there is a possibility of Abraxas using the skull as a homecoming beacon in order to navigate the multiverse. Reed also points out that the mist that has engulfed Earth is made up of the same microbiotic particles that he discovered on the skull. No wonder Reed was left with no choice but to summon the aid of the most powerful quartet in the galaxy to fight alongside the Fantastic Four against Abraxas. All of a sudden, the meteors are seen crashing on the blue area of the moon, and ugly, armored reptilian creatures are seen emerging from them. With the creatures sniffing fresh meat, a battle between them and the superheroes follows. Oh, it is an intense battle, and the creatures are seen emitting high-powered beams from their eyes. Realizing that they are after the Watcher, Silver Surfer resorts to wielding his cosmic energy manipulation so as to teleport the Watcher to a safe haven. But he is unable to do so, and the creatures end up seemingly killing Surfer in front of everyone. This is when Abraxas makes a grand entry and emerges from the smoke, donning the other half of the Watcher's medallion. The cosmic being is seen scornfully laughing at the group before disappearing once again into the smoke. Moondragon is seen making use of her telepathic abilities and getting inside the head of Johnny, only to discover that it is Johnny Storm who knows the location of the ultimate nullifier, or in other words, the solitary powerful weapon that even the planet Devourer was afraid of. Also, in case you didn't know, the weapon had the power to actually stop Abraxas from destroying the whole multiverse. No wonder Reed is seen alerting the group that if Abraxas reaches the weapon before they do, then the cataclysmic cosmic being will have the power to wipe out even the combined realities of the multiverse. Upon comprehending that the weapon has to be located no matter what, Captain Marvel uses his ability to extend his cosmic awareness to find it. But soon he discovers that the Watcher had hidden the nullifier in 3 different places, and now Captain Marvel is not sure which location happens to be the real one. Reed suggests everyone that they head back to the Baxter building for the time being and not let Surfer's death go in vain. Later, Reed uses the thought projector and effectively locates the position of the nullifier. Johnny volunteers to go on the mission, and Reed hands him a new costume, one that will make him survive in space. Reed also asks Nova to accompany him. As for the trio of Reed, Ben, and Sue, they go around the multiverse on a cosmic scavenger hunt so as to retrieve the pieces of the weapon. The issue ends with Abraxas appearing in the blue area of the moon, looking around, examining the Earth from a distance, and stating "Veni, Vidi, Vici" while letting out a sinister laugh. Fantastic Four Volume 3, number 47. Just imagine. Before we begin exploring this issue, please note that our focus will strictly be on Abraxas. Looking at his storyline in particular, Abraxas has finally arrived in New York, and he is busy causing utter chaos while blending the place with other realities. With him finally paying attention to the headquarters of the Fantastic Four, he ends up bumping into Valeria and immediately realizes that she is from a possible future and simply does not belong there. Valeria teleports to a different part of the Baxter building and finds an incapacitated Namorita lying down and gasping for breath. It becomes pretty clear that Namorita has been altered to her chimera state, which makes it impossible for her to survive outside water. With Abraxas locating Valeria, the latter is left with no choice but to disappear from there and leave behind an already weakened Namorita. Abraxas is seen stating that she is not the one he is looking for, while adding that all good things come to those who wait. As for Johnny and Nova, they are seen traveling deeper into outer space, busy seeking the location of the nullifier, when the former wonders where the trio of Reed, Sue, and Ben are. Speaking of the three of them, they are seen traversing through infinite alternate dimensions while looking for the parts of the weapon. The trio are seen in different avatars and do their best to hold things together. In the meantime, Franklin and Valeria have arrived in Otherworld and are seen waiting for the omniversal guardian Roma, who, in case you didn't know, happens to be the daughter of the legendary wizard Merlin. Upon seeing Roma, Franklin is certain that she will assist them in battling the Dark Man. The issue ends with Roma stating to the children that if they do not act on it soon, all of time will be lost to them. Fantastic Four Volume 3, number 48. Worlds Apart. Roma makes use of her powers and shows the trio of Valeria, Franklin, and her ancient ally Saturnine what each member of the Fantastic Four are up to in their mission to locate the super weapon and stop Abraxas. Roma explains that for every act of creation, there is one of destruction, and that it is within the very core of eternity that Abraxas grew. She further elucidates that it is Abraxas who has to be stopped. With Valeria pointing out why Abraxas did not make a move until now, Roma states that in order to keep the cosmic being in check, eternity had a Galactus created almost in every universe, and with the death of this reality's Galactus, the doors to the multiverse became disbalanced, giving Abraxas the chance to threaten every form of existence. As for Johnny and Nova, they are seen venturing further into space when Johnny stops abruptly and holds his head, screaming in pain. Pieces of the root of the nullifier have started appearing on his mind, and he continues with the journey along with Nova, hoping that he has just enough time before Abraxas turns Earth inside out. There comes a point when Johnny, in due course, is in possession of the last piece of information regarding the location of the ultimate nullifier, and he is seen reaching what looks like this colossal crystalline structure. With Johnny finally laying his hands on the weapon, Nova betrays him by attacking him. Also, much to the latter's shock, she discloses that she knew exactly what she has been doing all this while, and both of them are seen getting teleported to the citadel of Roma. Of course, Abraxas joins them and calls Nova his trusted herald. Roma demands Abraxas to stop his mad quest right away, but Abraxas tells her that it is Eternity's love for her that has brought him to her in the first place. As a gesture of thanking Roma for tending to the requirements of Eternity, he ends up kissing Roma, an action that makes Roma drop dead and decay on the floor. Looking at Nova, he tells her to gather all the belongings so as to leave the citadel immediately. Looking at Saturnine and the children, he stresses on the words, "all of us." Abraxas reaches the roof of the Baxter building as soon as the Fantastic Four make their way back to Earth. He confronts them along with a horde of Novas, all from alternate universes. As he takes the ultimate nullifier from one of the Novas, Reed attempts to stop him, but he is unsuccessful in doing so. Next, he simply tosses Reed away and tells everyone that with the powerful weapon in his hand, there isn't a soul in the combined universes that is capable of stopping him from doing what he wants to. The issue ends with Franklin giving a rather strange look to Abraxas, much to the latter's oblivion. Fantastic Four Volume 3 Number 49 Dark Victory. The issue begins with Abraxas finally in possession of the ultimate nullifier. He is seen commanding Nova and her army of duplicates to take care of the Fantastic Four. Johnny attempts his best to make Nova understand that she has to see Abraxas for what he actually is, and that is a madman. Nova retorts that Johnny could never really understand the pain in her heart, and now she will make sure that he experiences it. To everyone's and mostly Johnny's horror, Nova erects a pillar-like statue on the rooftop and shows him the dead body of the latter's beloved Namorita. No wonder she had suffocated to death after Abraxas had altered her back to her chimera state. Nova is also seen angrily remarking that even after Galactus took her as his herald, she destroyed her world. This triggers Johnny to an extent that he ends up attacking Nova. As for the remaining members of the Fantastic Four, they attack Abraxas, but it's of no use, as Abraxas simply keeps sending the horde of Novas after them. With Abraxas finally bringing his attention to Reed, he starts tormenting him while stating to him that as he dies, Abraxas will make sure that all the other versions of Reed across the realities die as well. Witnessing his father twitching in agony and in a state that Franklin cannot even imagine, he asks his mother and sister to grab his hand. What follows next is Franklin gaining access to some kind of a mind link, one that allows him to disclose to his mother that his sister, who had apparently died during childbirth, did not really die, and that it was Roma who showed him that Franklin had managed to go back, save his sister, and send her someplace else. No points for guessing that the sister was reborn as Valeria. He further tells his mother that all of them are there together for a reason. Next, he makes it back to the roof of the Baxter building and sees this giant glowing star in the sky. Valeria quickly tells her brother to make a wish upon the special star, further stating to him that he knows exactly who they have to bring back. With the duo making a wish, they combine their powers and generate an immense burst of energy, thereby resurrecting the planet devourer Galactus. What ensues next is a power-packed battle between Abraxas and Galactus, with the latter taking the ultimate nullifier from him. Nova attacks Galactus along with her duplicates, and after he is able to slaughter the lot, he turns his attention towards Reed and tells him that he knows exactly what he has to do. With Reed replying yes to Galactus, Abraxas is seen asking Reed to put down the nullifier. Reed is seen not wasting further time and activating the weapon. The multiverse is destroyed only to be remade. Everything comes back to its previous self. To begin with, the multiverse was never threatened by Abraxas. Namorita is breathing and very much alive. Franklin realizes that Valeria is gone. The Watcher also appears and mentions the term rebirth to them. Silver Surfer is seen very much alive, and as for the final gift before he parts, Sue is seen to be pregnant. Add several months to it. How powerful is Abraxas? First things first, as stated by Reed and as we have mentioned earlier, Abraxas happens to be a cosmic being having on display godlike powers, and bending reality means simply nothing to him. Next comes the fact that it will take the combined forces of all superheroes also add their will to the list to battle him. Often stated as the personification of destruction, Abraxas has limitless cosmic abilities, and he is capable of altering universes, restricting matter, as well as manipulating energy at will. Also, the solitary fact that Abraxas has effortlessly managed to slay multiple versions of Galactus, each from different universes, shows how supremely powerful he really is. We are dealing with someone who considers reality warping as an easy task. Need we say more? Well, with this, we finally come to an end of our video here. Do hit us with your thoughts in the comment section and let us know what do you like the most about the Marvel godlike villain Abraxas. Also, stay tuned with us for more exciting content. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.